Journal de Paris, 1793. Citizens Danton and Robespierre would like to defend their actions and honor before the public attacks of citizen Louvet and company. In these dangerous times, the revolution needs strong leaders, men unafraid of taking the hardest decisions. News of Lafayette, the treacherous dog, having accused and arrested the honorable members of the Paris Commune, sent to treat with him. His brave troops' unwillingness to march on Paris has forced him to desert his post and flee through enemy lines. Jacques Crapaud's tannery is again looking for laborers. With 10-hour days and paid breaks for vomiting, we're well above the industry standard. Upon the usual untimely death, a small sum will be sent to the worker's family. Marat is dead, citizens. The flame of the revolution has dimmed. The most ardent of us all has been viciously assassinated as he sat unwittingly in his bath. We will publish details of the crime as they come to light, but for now let us bow our heads in homage to the greatest of revolutionaries. Amazon fights for the revolution. Readers recall the astonishing Théroigne de Méricourt, she who leads the crowds at many a revolutionary event. Now she has taken it upon herself to raise a brigade of warrior women. We salute the efforts of this extraordinary woman. Le Patriote, 1793. The king confined to Paris. The Assembly has acted for the safety of France, knowing that our enemies already amassed at our borders would pounce if they could but secure Louise's person. The Legislative Assembly has declared itself unfit to proceed with the governing of the nation. Given recent dramatic events, a new national convention is to be elected more suited to the challenges ahead. Rabble-rouser Camille Desmoulins continues to publish his rag sheet, Le Vieux Cordelier. We don't begrudge anyone the right to print their opinions, but hasn't he enough blood on his hands? Can't he finally be silenced? A fierce Corsican heart is burning with true Republican fire. The young artillery commander Napoleon Bonaparte is a man to watch. Now of officer rank, a bright and humble military career lies ahead for this Gaitoin. We entrust the Republic to his valiant hands. I just cannot read French. My apologies to anyone out there who knows these words.
We found something in the attic during the renovation. You may wish to go upstairs and have a look.
Journal of Thomas de Carillon, October 12th, 1307. It is done. All is in readiness, and there is naught left to do but wait for the coming of the dawn. Mentor Guilliman de Nogaret has bent the king's will to ours, and with Benedict dead at Perugia, Rome is with us as well. And yet I find my heart gripping with sudden misgivings. Dante and Domenico assure me that this is a great victory, that we will annihilate them root and branch. But I wonder, in breaking the Templars' public facade, are we merely driving them into the shadows? 50 years ago, the Templars thought us destroyed. After all, vanishing from the public eye has proven our greatest strength in this interminable war. Are we now granting the same boon to our enemies?
Impressive, no?
What is it?
An heirloom of the Brotherhood. That armor was worn by Thomas de Corniel.
I have no earthly idea who that is.
He led the raid that captured Jacques de Molay, broke the Templars' power in Europe for over a century. It used to be that an assassin who did a great service for the Brotherhood and for France would be given his armor in thanks. The seal that opens the vault was lost 200 years ago. It hasn't been opened since.
I can see why calling a locksmith was out of the question. Tell me about this seal.
It consisted of 3 rings, one for each of the 3 doors, but the seal was broken before it was lost. The fragments are no doubt scattered around Paris, with only the vaguest clues as to their whereabouts.
And if someone were to find all of them, would you say that he had done a great service for the Brotherhood in France?
I suppose I would at that.
Thomas de Carnelion, born in 1276 in the Republic of Metz. Thomas de Carnelion was a wealthy banker and economic rival of the Knights Templar. He contributed a sizable force, probably of Flemish mercenaries, to Philip the Fourth's arrest and imprisonment of the Templars on October 13, 1307. With his chief rival out of the way, Thomas and his cabal of supporters, including such luminaries as Dante Alighieri, Marco Polo, and Domenico Auditori, spread their influence across Europe, toppling monarchs and bishops alike as they saw fit. He died of an illness in Venice sometime around the spring of 1323. Oh dear, real history time. Thomas de Carnelion was a mentor of the French Brotherhood in the late 13th through early 14th centuries. He was one of the key participants in the downfall of the original Templar Order, back when they conveniently wore enormous red targets on their chests. Those Flemish mercenaries were us, by the way, but I'm guessing you already saw that when you experienced Helix. or whatever focus group tested audience approved marketing speak they're using these days. After Jacques de Molay and his cronies were rounded up, Thomas and his assassin brothers and sisters spent a decade crisscrossing Europe. On a side note, I spent a month crisscrossing Europe after university, and I'll tell you what, it bloody felt like a decade. At least, those guys spent their time rooting out Templar influence, wherever they found it. I spent mine chasing a Spanish girl called Catalina, who I thought had stolen my heart, but in fact had stolen my wallet. Anyway, did you enjoy the Renaissance? You can thank Thomas de Carnelion and his associates for paving the way for it. Id circo problemata. Arno, 1561. I have been increasingly subject to visions, composed of obscure sentences and strange characters which carry meanings beyond my understanding. The visions were of such force that, overcome, I passed into a trance. Therein I saw a weighty disc burst into many fragments, which themselves were dispersed across a Paris I could scarcely recognize. Such were the changes. Each fragment of the disc accompanied by quatrains of unknown meaning, and to each of those a symbol assigned. Upon awakening, I have written here the words and the symbols to each associated. It is for someone more learned than I to solve their meanings and recover whatever of value they protect. Nostradamus. Nostradamus. Michael de Nostradamus was born on December 14, 1503 in Saint-Remy de Provence, in the south of France. An apothecary, he drafted his first almanac in 1550, in which he predicted events to come in relatively obscure, rhyming couplets. It was around this time that he began to go by the name of Nostradamus, actually an inaccurate Latin translation of Nostradame. He went on to publish the Prophecies, a work that would effectively ensure his fame and reputation. He was summoned to the court by Catherine de Medicis in 1555. It seems that he predicted the death of Henry II, King of France, correctly foretelling that Henry's skull would be pierced in a duel with his master-at-arms in 1559. In 1564, Charles IX assigned him the role of physician in ordinary to the king. He died on July 2nd, 1566, in Salon de Provence. Bet he didn't see that coming. Report on the training of the initiate Charles Dorian. This report is written in a crude, blocky hand, as though the scribe were unused to writing. Here's your dadgum progress report. Initiate Dorian is showing progress. Signed, P. Bellick. The first riddle. The lady of the domicile judges comings and goings from her couch-like throne at the top of the stairs.
Here for a fight, monsieur?
Come again.
A training match, that is. An assassin can never be too well prepared.
Isn't our mandate to work in the shadows? Stay undetected and all that?
Call this the fallback option. Better to practice here in safety than pick a fight with ruffians in the streets. No?
Touché.
Priest today. Finished off that Swiss guard who thought he'd made it out? What are you waiting for? Paris is seething with undesirables, and everyone's invited to lend a hand with the cleanup. The Paris Commune is still short a few good men. If you're
It seems some royalist fanatics called Les Actes des Apôtres are on a book-burning spree. Many rare manuscripts are in danger. Meet my contact at Place de Fin and save what you can. We'll find them a good home here.
Go away! Get back here, I'll tinderer!
Auto da fe. An auto da fe, from the Portuguese for act of faith, was originally a ritual of the Inquisition wherein the accused made proof of their good faith. However, since the ritual generally ended with the accused being burnt at the stake, in the popular mind, auto de fe came to mean the burning itself. The term came to France during the Revolution and was turned inside out, now meaning a revolutionary act of faith against Christian clerics.
Audacieux!
Well, what's so important to Zelma?
It's the bloody scullery girl. Claude said he spotted her hiding a note under a loose cobble. I didn't even know the wretch could read.
So? She's probably just scribbling for her gutter rat friends.
That's what I thought at first. But then I went and read the note. She knew about Reynard. She had details of the operation. I think she's a spy.
Ah, this is what we get for taking in war orphans.
What do we do?
Don't worry. I'll take care of it.
De nouvelles pénuries de grains pour la région de la capitale. Nous demandons aux citoyens de garder leur calme et d'attendre que les autorités... Oui, monsieur, pour remonter des troubles. Non, le drôle, le prix n'est pas négociable. Envisage de déchaîner la violence dans toute la ville les nuits prochaines.
Madame Goose sent me. You are discovered. You need to get out of here.
Malédiction. C'est un cadavre. À l'aide! À l'aide! No. Gilbert! Someone's gonna pay for this. Move, sheep! Personne que je suis venu ici. Eh bien, qui est-il?
Épargnez-moi.
Si je m'étais
Je ne
attendu.
chercherai la...
Il y a un cadavre ici. Garde! Seigneur, mais... J'ai peur. Garde! Garde! On a un meurtrier ici! Attrapez-le!
Quel ravissement.
Colette's already asking for a new assignment. She's indomitable, that one. The Queen's dressmaker, Rose Bertin, agreed to make new costumes for the theatre. But it seems her royal past wasn't enough to spare her the attentions of radicals. Les Actes des Apôtres vandalized her shop, and now Rose is nowhere to be found. Go to the Marais and see what you can find out. I'm worried about her.
S'il continue, il va se...
Is there some sort of...
You're mine!
For the fun bit. You missed the last wagon in Austria, traitor!
You won't shake me! Come on! I can see you!
You can't shake me!
I've got you!
Shit! I've got you!
There you are!
Madame Bertin, I presume.
Oh,
Oh, you must be Charlotte's friend. I came here to recover my work from these scoundrels, but... well...
Say no more. Get yourself to safety. I'll deal with this.
Merci.
Rose Burton. Born on July 2nd, 1747, Rose Burton became known as Marie Antoinette's Minister of Fashion. Now there's a job I'd be good at. She opened her first boutique, Le Grand Mongolian, when aged 22, in the very chic Saint-Honoré neighborhood. I wouldn't say my French is perfect, but on first glance, she seems to have named her shop the Big Mongolian. If I'd been her Minister of Fashion, I think I'd have advised her to change that. I don't care how big the Mongolian in question was. He could be massive. It's no excuse. Who's going to shop at the Big Mongolian? She soon diversified her offerings to include bonnets, mantlets, pelisses, bows, and shrived veils. The queen was enthralled by such refinement, and with Rose Burton's help, set about transforming the Versailles dress code. Dresses were simplified to allow women greater freedom of movement, in particular by abandoning panniers, which were considered too cumbersome. I'm sorry to go on about this, but you just don't name shops after random enormous Mongolians. Rose Burton's success and popularity soon brought her in international clientele from cities as far afield as Koblenz, Brussels, London, and St. Petersburg. It was thanks to this diverse base of customers that she managed to survive the revolution. She left France during the Reign of Terror and would only return in 1800.
Come here, you cowardly bastard! Now! Stop! Right bloody there! I'll wipe that bloody smirk off your face. Piece of piss once I've ripped your head off.
What was that?
You're no patriot!
You won't get away! Gonna find ya! Gonna kill ya! Right? Kill her out there somewhere.
Hey, show yourself. Ha!
Now then, how the hell do I get all this back to the theater?
Garde, à l'aide!
Report on the recruitment of Miss Le Maupin. This letter is written in a strong, flowing hand in a calligraphic style popular near the end of the last century. The following are the words of brother assassin Louis Joseph d'Albert de Luinis Comet d'Albert, as set down by master assassin Marical on account of the former being grievously wounded in his shoulder. With further commentary by M. Marical, like so. On instruction of my mentor, I set forth for Villeperdu on my steed, Argent, a fine stallion from good Andalusian stock. Brother d'Albert here digresses at length upon the virtues of his steed. Deeming this irrelevant to the business of the Brotherhood, I have excised it. My business was the identification and recruitment of a potential initiate, a swordsman and singer of some repute, a fellow by the name of Le Maupin. I looked it up, and MLLE dot means miss. That's why I said it in the beginning. I don't know if that's right or not. So, again, apologies. I told him she was a woman. The broad sheets announcing her fencing demonstrations proclaimed her a woman. Her name takes the feminine case. Brother d'Albert clearly needs to meditate upon the improvement of his senses. Much to my surprise, when I arrived at the tavern where I was to find the gentleman, what I found was instead plainly a young woman, fair of countenance and of hair, singing bawdy, chansonnettes, and demonstrating swordplay for an admiring crowd. My brother assassins and I approached her, whereupon I complimented her most highly upon her talents and inquired if we might speak. However, for reasons surpassing understanding, she became incensed at my words and threatened all three of us. From the testimony of Brother d'Albert's comrades, and his exact words were, "I've listened to your chirping, O pretty bird. Now tell me of your plumage." My brothers rushed nobly to my defense, but showed some not ungentlemanly hesitation in striking a woman. I likewise attempted to talk her down, but taking my hesitation to shed blood as a sign of weakness, the mademoiselle struck me through the right shoulder so that her blade protruded 6 inches from my back. Doubtless shocked by the sight of blood, she fled the scene. while my brothers helped me to the village barber. The accounts of Brother D'Albert's brothers tell a rather different story, that the young lady roundly trounced all three of them, struck Brother D'Albert a crippling blow, and then withdrew to the bar to order a cup of Burgundy. Based on this irrational and illogical reaction, I must conclude that Miss Maupin would be a poor choice for recruitment. And having tutored the Mademoiselle personally in the arts of the stage, I must conclude that Brother D'Albert is a great ass and should no more be in charge of recruitments than an orang-outan should be in charge of the cockery. Solve the final riddle. The final riddle. Lowly sinners, as each we are, aspire to the domed heavens. Fickle fate points beyond where a supine city beckons.
There are 3 such rules. If you drink the water, the devil comes to you and lures you away with promises. One of the fountains is right there.
Come to me. I can give you untold riches. Eternal life can be yours. Everything you desire. Just come to me. Yes, this way. You will have whatever you wish. Eternal life can be yours. Everything you desire, just come to me. Come. You will find peace at last.
Ready to the trap.
A note. The drug will induce hallucinations. The victim will arrive at the ambush point in a weakened state. Strike immediately. Are these... what, thieves or something? I don't think so. And also, how do we know that they're going to arrive at that specific point? Alright, maybe this once, but if it's during the next one here, I think I'm going to call BS.
Par ici!
Everything you desire, just come to me. Yes, you will find peace at last.
And on top of that, it's always the same hallucination, it seems like. And you're going to be led into a specific spot? I don't think so. The drug, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's the same message. So, yeah, this is not a good mission, I think.
Come to me. I can give you untold riches. Eternal life can be yours. Everything you desire. Just come to me. Yes, closer. Closer. You will find peace at last.
Hey, come back here! Hey! Ah! And now for the fun bit. Face me like a man!
If you wish to join the cult of Baphomet, you must steal 2 holy chalices from the Cathedral of Notre Dame and bring them to me.
Baphomet. Baphomet is an occult figure of worship, usually depicted with a head of a goat, featuring large horns, and sometimes with wings. That would really annoy me. Either put my wings in your picture or don't. Don't just sometimes have wings. What about my wings is forgettable to you? I've got wings, for goodness sake. You always do the goat's head, don't you? Well, give me my bloody wings then. Transcripts of the trials of the Knights Templar seems to indicate that Baphomet may have been worshipped among them. Although that is inconclusive, it's possible that the Knights Templar brought these beliefs back with them from their journeys during the Crusades.
Well done. You are now a follower of Baphomet. Come to our ritual. The password is the Father of Understanding.
Allons, il n'y en aura pas pour tout le monde. Oui, monsieur, pour quelle quantité?
I'll slow your flight! You won't outlast me! Back inside!
Les Marseillaise. On April 20th, 1792, the Assembly declared war on the King of Bohemia and Hungary. The homeland was in danger and had to be defended at any cost. A few days later, at the request of the mayor of Strasbourg, a young officer, Rudi Isle, sang a rather violent song which he had composed for the army of the Rhine. Allen's Enfants de la Partie, le jour de gloire estarive. Contre nous de la tyrannie, l'étendard sanglant est levé. Entendez-vous dans les campagnes muguerces féroces soldats is vos vienets jasque dans vos bras égorger vos fils vos compagnes aux arms citoyens formes vos battalions marchons quon sang umper uberov nos silons. Rise, children of the fatherland, the day of glory has arrived. Against us, tyranny raises its bloody barrier. Do you hear, in the countryside, the roar of these ferocious soldiers? They're coming right into your arms to cut the throats of your sons and women. To arms, citizens! Form your battalions. Let us march. Let us march. Let an impure blood water our furrows. The music is said to be inspired from a Mozart concerto. In fact, the song was not made popular by the army of the Rhine, but by volunteers from Marseilles, who would take up the song and gradually transform it into an anthem. La Marseillaise became the rallying cry to the French Revolution and embodied the values it sought to spread along with its conquests. That was rough to read.
I am Madame Tussaud. I'm adept at making wax figures and death masks. I promised the Assembly I would make masks of famous victims of the guillotine. It's grisly, but it was the only way to get out of prison. And now someone has stolen the heads I was given. Could you please find them for me?
Madame Tussaud, born Marie Grosholz in Strasbourg, Marie Tussaud would go on to be famous for her Museum of Wax Sculptures in London. Thank goodness she changed her name. I doubt they'd be queuing around the block for Madame Grosholz's house of vaguely recognizable figurines. She learned how to sculpt from Dr. Philippe Curtius, for whom she'd worked as a housekeeper. Philippe Curtius was a physician, physicist, and an anatomist who sculpted heads and organs for use in his classes. I hope they mean anatomy classes, because if he just brought them out during random math classes, I think the authorities should have been told. Marie became his brightest and only pupil, and came with him to Paris in 1776. Their exhibition of portraits attracted large crowds of people, astonished by the realism of their figures. It was almost as if the skin of the sculptures quivered. Marie's created her first sculptures, her first wax figures of Voltaire and Rousseau, the best of enemies. In 1778, she then went on to Benjamin Franklin. She was also employed by Louis the XVI to teach drawing and modeling to Louis's sister, and moved to Versailles. However, such proximity to royalty served her poorly. After the fall of the monarchy, she was arrested for royalist sympathies and waited to meet her death in the same cell as Eugene de Beauharnais. Just as the executioner was cutting her hair to clean her neck, the order came for her release. The condition of her freedom was to create wax sculptures of famous heads, whether hated or celebrated. Eventually, these would include Marie Antoinette, Marat, and Robespierre. Her mentor, Curtius, died in the autumn of 1794. Just as the terror was subsiding, he left Marie his collection of heads. How touching. She left for London in 1802 to present her collection, which had been the talk of the town for the past 2 decades. She would remain there for the rest of her life. Establishing her famous exhibition, she died in her sleep at the age of 88 years, 54 of which she had spent sculpting. Having completed her own self-portrait many years since, she has remained eternally young. If by eternally young you mean permanently dead. Good joke. Did I ever mention that I hate it when he jokes?
A friend found out something you might find important. She sent me this letter.
Chère madame, I have learned that a certain politician... I hate it. Everything. Flushed with pride in his role overthrowing the Girondins, has procured the head of Jacques Pierre Brissot. Recently stolen from you, he works near the concierge. Your devoted friend.
Rumor has it that a soldier who guards Sainte-Chapelle wanted the head of Olympe de Gouges. He was in love with her from afar.
The judge at the Palais de Justice who condemned Jacques Hébert apparently wanted Hébert's head as a trophy.
You're no better than the thugs.
Glad you could make it. You have to free our agent and get to the exit portal. His original mission was to gather data from the Helix, so try to recover as much of it as possible. Here's some of the data we've been looking for. Good. Our techs will start analyzing the data right away. That data is encrypted. You'll need to stand by it for a moment until I can access it. Okay, decrypting now. Done. All right, I'll need more data to find our operative. There he is. You have to get him out of there. He's free. Well done. You're running out of time. Try to recover as much data as possible before you leave. This area is becoming unstable. The simulation is collapsing. Get out now! Very good, but there's more assassins to save and more data to find.
Letter from M. Lemaitre, Deputy of the Assembly. Captain Lenotre, I have purchased both heads from our friend. They are kept in chests in the concierge. I have the single key that opens them both.
if you ask nice.
You have them. I can make the death masks and be safe. Oh, what a world in which we live.
I've done some research. An ancient cult. Right here! It's all there on the table.
Document. A summary of the medieval Inquisition into the Templar Order 1307. Quote, yes. In our profound conviction, the Grand Masters of the Order of the Templars worshipped the Baphomet, and caused it to be worshipped by their initiates. Yes, there existed in the past, and there may still be in the present, assemblies which are presided over by this figure with head of goat, seated on a throne and crowned by a flaming torch between its horns.
Ah, a new initiate. We're using the chalices you stole in tonight's ritual. Enter. Welcome to the cult of Baphomet.
Sisters and brothers of Baphomet, we here dedicate the life of our beloved sister Jeanne to the glory and power of the wisdom of Baphomet.
We stand together in gratitude to you, Jeanne, for your bravery.
I yield this, my body, for the good of my sisters and brothers in Baphomet.
We honor your sacrifice.
Elle doit préparer une surprise pour sa belle. Quelle charmante attention.
Lots of attractive women this year, eh?
How can you tell with these ridiculous masks?
Last year they botched the ritual sacrifice.
I took...
That's odd.
I took care to sharpen the knife this time round.
Could have sworn you came this way.
Un acrobate, c'est comme ça qu'ils sont.
I'm concerned about so many Templars joining our society. They're starting to influence important decisions.
I don't see any problem. For centuries.
His most revered leader keeps making unwelcome advances.
That old goat.
The
revolution is suppressing the cult of Catholics that has for so long suppressed us.
He who sows the wind, Harvey.
Lots of attractive women this year, eh?
How can you tell with these ridiculous masks?
A guide for bringing forth justice. If you want to solve crimes, you can't just wander in and throw the first suspicious person you meet into jail. Well, you can, but you'll almost always be wrong. Look, you're going to have to get serious and have a comprehensive system to sort out who did it, why and how. I'm going to make it easy for you and list basics right here. Read those over, then go out and nab the murderer. 1. Everything you discover will be kept in a case file. Look there to review what you've learned. 2. Examine all clues and speak to all witnesses. Use your eyes and ears. 3. Some clues will lead you to new places. Don't be lazy. Go there and look for more clues. 4. Review your case file. Use your head. Which suspect had the ability, means, and motive? 5. When you know that only one suspect could have done the crime, return to the murderer and accuse them. Eugene Vidocq.
Something kind of creepy about monks. Like that in a big building. Sometimes that's hard on people. Better check out the monastery here on the island, though.
A dead monk, Friar Jean, strangled with a strand of rosary beads. He appears to have fallen from his chair while writing at his desk. Crumpled paper. Clenched in the monk's dead fist is a crumpled bit of paper, apparently torn from a diary. It reads, "Guilty. I have poisoned them. He claimed it was God's will, and that I do so because of the prediction, but I cannot escape my guilt. I am a murderer. I must confess everything right this minute, before the note is unfinished."
Dear Lord, Friars Stanislas, Bernard, and even the respected Friar Benoit, and then Friar Jean, all dead. It passeth all understanding. 3 monks survive, praise God, but I dare not think. Is it possible that the murderer is one of them? Ah, ridiculous. Which of them would be capable of such an atrocity?
Body of Friar Stanislaus. An older monk lying dead in his bed. His features are shallow and his face is ashen gray. Body of Friar Bernard. And the informational text reads the same. Body of Friar Benoit. And again, the information is the same. Property of Friar Honore. Personal effects. Of note is an enormous book filled with intriguing quatrains. The prophecies by Nostradamus.
So much happened. First, the death of the elder monks. Friar Jean served them wine, and they immediately became very tired. They went to bed and couldn't be roused. I ran to the doctor. When I came back, what did I find? They were all dead. And there's Friar Jean, strangled at his desk.
Saw a monk right over there, starting a fire he was. A fire, here in the vineyard. Well, I yelled at him to get on out of there, and he ran off. Saw a monk right over there, starting a fire he was.
Statement of the vineyard worker. Vineyard worker saw a monk starting a fire in the vineyard, yelled at him, and he ran off, unable to identify the monk.
Fire, here in the vineyard. Well, I yelled at him to get on out of there, and he ran off.
Partially burnt diary. Poisoned the cask of wine, but I served it. If he knew that I am about to confess, he would not hesitate to murder me himself. Oh, curse the day the predictions of Nostradamus ever came to Honore's possession. He is quite mad, and has driven me to madness, but I am... The rest of the page is probably burnt away and unreadable.
So much happened. First, the death of the elder monks. Friar Jean served them wine, and they immediately became very tired. They went to bed and couldn't be roused. Me? A murderer? On the contrary, I went for the doctor.
But I dare not think. Is it possible that the murderer is one of them? Ah, ridiculous. Which of them would be capable of such an atrocity?
Property of Friar Jean. Personal effects. Also at the bottom of the chest, a single page torn from a book. The 7 branches will be reduced to 3. The elder one surprised by death. The 2 seduced to fratricide. The conspirators will die as they sleep. Signed Nostradamus. We have already accused one of the wrong monks. We gotta find the right one. I thought that we could accuse somebody and it would put him in jail, but it seems that we can't actually accuse the wrong person. We have to get to the right person. It just, you know, I guess it's like you get penalized for if you don't accuse the right person the first time?
I am very worried about Friar Honore. He and Friar Jean were quite close. I fear Jean's murder has affected Honore's sanity. I am very worried about he and...
God's will cannot be understood by mortal man. We search and pray and do the best we can. Small hints can be discerned, say, in the writings of prophets. I believe Nostradamus is one. God's will cannot be understood by mortal man. We search and pray and do the best we can. The conspirators were foretold to die in their sleep. Jean was victim of a fratricide. Is it murder to fulfill a prophecy? It's all coming true, I tell you. Even this.
He's a bit off his nut, if you ask me. Arrest the madman. 9 times out of 10, you're right. Go ahead.
And here's our case summary. Friar Honore became obsessed with the predictions of Nostradamus and brought his friend Friar Jean into his obsession. Together they plotted to make one of Nostradamus's predictions come true. Honore poisoned a cask of wine, and Jean served it to the elder monks, the eldest of the branches. In a fit of remorse, Friar Jean decided to confess and was in the act of writing this decision in his diary when he was surprised by Friar Honore, who then strangled Jean with his own rosary beads. Honore then attempted to burn a page from Jean's diary, but was seen by the vineyard worker and ran off in a fright.
The man who denounced me is furious that I've escaped the guillotine. The man who denounced me is furious that I've escaped the guillotine. He sent men to my shop to apprehend me. I dare not return there. Could you please go to my shop and make sure my assistants are safe? And please, please remove that horrid man.
Stop! What's the hurry, friend? You can't escape, maggots!
Bridge brigands. A band of thugs are extorting common citizens by charging a payment simply to cross a bridge. Eliminate their captains on each bridge. The council.
Take it from the side! Pay the toll. You better pay.
Vous avez vu ça? Et où vous croyez-vous? Patience, David. Tu pars maintenant, tu seras pas payé. Tu penses? Ouais, en deux. Oh, garde! Vite! Posons ça là-bas. Et ça. Une même particule. Now I got ya! Get in! You're in the way! Is that your... You shit! Out of my way, Cannon! I'll have you dead in here! 200 seconds to live, mate! Off with you! Dropping the pace! Always here for you, brother.
Marat's missive. A violent gang is robbing graves in the Isle de la Cité. A letter from the powerful Jean-Paul Marat shields them from arrest. Steal the letter.
Get back here! I'll cave your skull in, I will! Leave me alone! I've got a letter from Marat. Halt! Yes, you, citizen! Get back here, you brat! I got 10 inches of steel for you! You might live a bit longer if you piss off.
I think that better, instead of those little requirements to, you know, oh, kill 5 guards with a sword, or kill 5 guards with a gun, or whatever, it should be, the requirement should be like trying to get in without being seen or something like that. Because, I mean, it said steal the letter, and technically I guess I did take it, but it's like,
Not a bad take.
like ridiculous. It just killed everybody and then took it.
The workmen were able to break open a doorway in the basement. It would afford a way to come and go along the north bank. free from prying eyes, should someone require such a thing.
Oui, monsieur, pour quelle quantité? Non, le compteur.
Ancestral vengeance. Tarragon's house, dead body. The body of Paul Tarragon, signs of extreme violence. The body is marked by bruises. The arms and legs have been broken.
Oh, monsieur, I am distraught. Who could have done such a thing? He had not a single enemy. All I know is there was an article in the newspaper that made him very upset. Oh, monsieur, I am distraught.
Bloody symbol. A Roman numeral 2 has been written in blood on the door. Partially burned letter. My dear Tarragon, I increasingly have the sense that I am being watched, no doubt due to the careless revelation of our true identities in the moronic interview given by BG. What a feeble-minded fool, as though people have forgotten. Take care, old friend. Your friend, A.D. Brasi. A book, Almanac, Il de la Cité 12, author's preface. Many families changed their surnames. In this way, they retreated into anonymity, thus avoiding the wrath of their victims and their victims' descendants. Newspaper. Readers, in this time of change, let France not forget her history. The Inquisition effectively ended in France well over 100 years ago. Yet the descendants of the Inquisitors have live and walk among us. Let us cast our minds back and recall those three infamous prosecutors shown in our engraving from left to right. De Nogaret, de Marigny, and de Paris. These three are identified by medallions with numerals, medallions which they proudly regarded as a numbering of holy rank. We know today that several of their children changed their names to avoid retribution. We've discovered here in Paris a descendant of Philippe de Marigny. He is the preposterous merchant Bernard Grimeny of the Ile de la Cité. He gave us the honor of receiving us at his home at 6 Rue des Marmousets, where we admired his collection of thumbscrews and a chair studded with spikes. which he confided to us are family heirlooms. Torture devices, a collection of medieval torture instruments arranged in a display. This one says the same thing. Looks like he's got a lot of torture devices around. A book, History of France, Volume 4. 4 sentences are underlined. God knows who is in the wrong. God knows who covers himself in sin. Disasters will fall upon those who condemn us here. Be it known that all who have opposed us and their descendants will suffer by the hand of God. Jacques de Molay. After I've been saying this for so long, I think it might be Jacques du Molay. Or D. Whatever, but I think I'm saying it wrong. Like everything else in France that I would say wrong. If I was there. Alright, let's go to the next place. Different location, however, the same thing. Just torture devices all over the place. Was all that was in that one. So we can move on to the next.
A woman just tried to kill me. Me! I managed to wound her, but she ran off. She grabbed a dagger, an heirloom. I twisted it away and stabbed her. This is her blood here.
Okay, we can follow these blood trails. This one leads toward the stairs. Kind of. Okay, nothing in there. Alright, let's go and follow these blood stains. The first one down the stairs, and it looks like the second one's right there outside the door. Leads to the street to the left. Alright, let's speed her up.
They glory in their ancestors' deeds, vile torturers. They glory in their ancestors' deeds, vile torturers. Their ancestors decimated the Templar Order. They deserve to die horribly. You should not have put me here. I was righting an ancient wrong.
Any fool could have figured that one out, I imagine. Still, take a weapon if you like.
Shady characters mixed up in this one, eh?
Case summary. Descendants of some well-known medieval inquisitors have been living peacefully under aliases anagrams of their forefathers' names, until recently when one of them, Bertrand Grimini, descendant of de Marigny, foolishly gave an interview to a city newspaper. The article exposed his address, and he was subsequently murdered. A large bloody Roman numeral 1 inscribed on his wall. However, Grimini managed to wrest a pendant with a key away from his murderer. In the struggle, Grimini's friend, Paul Tarragon, the first body discovered and descendant of de Nogaret, was then murdered. A bloody Roman numeral 2 left behind. The third descendant, M. de Parisi, from de Paris, would have doubtless suffered the same fate, but managed to fight off the attacker. A blood trail leads to the murderer, Anne de Molay, a descendant of the famous Templar victim of the medieval inquisitors. She had taken vengeance on the descendants of her forebears' torturers.
I read the tarot for powerful friends, and now some believe I influence those friends, and they wish me harm. I have seen my enemies in a dream. Come with me, and I will sense their presence.
Mademoiselle Lenormand. Marie Anne Adelaide Lenormand, born May 27, 1772, in Alencon, received a conventional education from that city's Benedictine nuns. It was there that, to her great surprise, she discovered psychic abilities that would allow her to pursue the practices of divination. With the revolution, she moved to Paris and set up a fortune-telling enterprise. It is said that this is where she met 3 key figures of the revolution, namely Marat, Robespierre, and Saint Just, for all of whom she predicted a violent death. To be fair, it was a pretty violent time. Lots of people were meeting violent ends. If this psychic had predicted their deaths would all take place on a little yellow barge called Colin, or by inadvertently impaling themselves on a series of stale baguettes, then I'd be impressed. Her activity made her suspicious in the eyes of the Committee of Public Safety, whereupon she was sent to prison in 1794, where she met and befriended Josephine de Beauharnais. She escaped the guillotine, and during the Directory and Empire periods, managed to set up a new necromancy establishment in the Faubourg Saint-Germain, where the elite made haste to hear her predictions. She is also believed to have met Napoleon, but this did not stop the Emperor having her arrested in 1803. And again in 1809 for treason. She believed herself to be nearly immortal and predicted a very long life for herself. Nevertheless, she died in 1843.
You, citizen, don't have long to live. What? Citizen, I sense that your husband is having an affair.
I beg your pardon?
In my dream, one of the murderers was from the country. Yes, a farmer of sorts. Oh, he is dangerous. I feel an evil presence. Yes, he is somewhere nearby. I am sure of it. That's him.
Christ! He's taken us down. Aller retrouver ton créateur.
Efficiently done.
Did he make a short turn?
La cocarde tricolore s'enflamme pour la révolution. Le peuple se révolte.
I feel that it's about to rain.
You are well, citizen?
I remember now, a soldier out to kill me. Look for a man in uniform. A voice is whispering to me. A man with intentions. Just to the east.
Where'd that come
Wait, east or north?
Je ne sais pas découvrir comment va se développer ce
On dirait qu'il se passe quelque chose.
Not breathing, but not dead long either. Still warm.
That one, just as in my dream.
Alors, il n'y en aura pas pour tout le monde. Oui, monsieur.
Sent to the great beyond. I have the distinct sense that a man in the legal profession wishes me harm. A lawyer. I sense a man capable of unspeakable violence. There. He's joined the choir invisible.
Monseigneur, lâchez donc cette mégère. Venez plutôt vous divertir en ma compagnie.
And a shady character. Yes, I see him in my mind's eye. A shyster, a bandit. Vibrations of danger are all about us, even in this very spot. Ah, the man from my dream.
There's nothing well placed to steal from.
Le ciel met cet homme est un meurtrier!
À l'aide, vite de l'aide ici!
Hello, my friend. My friend. Hello.
I thank you, my friend. I sense you have seen the deadly effects of politics. I wish you well in choosing your path. Ah, I foresaw your return. Come, I have something to tell you. These cards, the cross and the lady, invoke Notre Dame Cathedral, continuing with the religious theme, monks. And this card, it is clear to me that an order of monks is after mystical power. They hope to find Nicolas Flamel's water of life in his long-lost laboratory somewhere here in Paris. This card, the key, they have found part of the mechanism that will unlock Flamel's door. You must go to Notre Dame and recover that mechanism.
Nicolas Flamel. Born in Pontoise in 1330, Nicolas Flamel later went to Paris to work as a scrivener. Flamel amassed a considerable fortune for himself, arousing persistent rumors as to how he managed to establish such wealth so quickly. For many, Flamel therefore must have been an alchemist, able to transmute base metals such as lead into gold or silver. In this youth, Flamel had a strange dream in which an angel showed him an extraordinary book. It was in this book of Abraham Eleazar, that he would later discover the secrets of alchemy. Flamel went on a pilgrimage to Saint Jacques de Compostelle, where he met a certain Maestro Canches, a Jewish Kabbalist, who would give him certain keys for interpreting the book, which, it is told, allowed Flamel to use alchemical methods to acquire his fortune. Flamel is credited with the recognition of the Church of Saint Jacques de la Boucherie, the remains of which now stand as the Saint Jacques Tower. Though some say that the Philosopher's Stone made Flamel immortal, it is known that he died on March 22nd, 1418. He is buried alongside his wife in the present-day Cluny Museum in Paris.
Broken the law.
This rusty bit of metal must be part of the mechanism that Mademoiselle Lenormand was talking about.
Hotel Dieu. This is the oldest hospital in Paris, dating to the mid-7th century. It was originally started as a refuge for the poor and sick, funded by the nobility as a charity, but by the time of the revolution, it had earned a terrible reputation. Those who died here were more likely to have contracted a disease inside its walls than outside. I hope that was their corporate slogan. The hospital has undergone numerous renovations over the years, but it still serves as an emergency center for the first 9 arrondissements of Paris. They must be thrilled.
Messieurs, soyez bienvenus.
Ah, you have recovered part of the mechanism, as I knew you would. Keep it. It is you who will unlock the secret.
Maintenant, tu ne seras pas...
Try to get as much data as you can, but remember to leave enough time to find the assassin. Wait, this data is encrypted. Great find. Another assassin lives thanks to you. Enjoy the reward. We thought we'd lost this assassin for good. His
01 archived conversation, 24 January 2014. A transcribed telephone conversation between Miss M. LeMay and Dr. A. Grammatica. Grammatica. Hello, Miss LeMay. It's Alvaro. Have you settled into your new office? M. LeMay. Just a few more boxes to unpack. Alvaro. Good. It's a big space. LeMay. Almost too big. Olivier felt the same way. Alvaro. Oh, but... The view is incredible if I remember right. LeMay. That's true. Grammatica. Listen, I'll be in Montreal for a week next month, so we can talk more in depth at that point. Until then, I'll send you some documents to give you a rough idea about what sort of data we'll be looking for in the next few years. LeMay. Okay, I'll have plenty of time next month to review them. Grammatica. Good. Also, when you have a spare moment, I wonder if you'd write up a detailed reminiscence, I suppose, or a memoir of your time with John Standish. How long you worked with him, how often you talked, what you know about his personal life, that sort of thing. M. LeMay. Okay, absolutely. You sound hesitant. LeMay. Sorry, no. I'd be happy to. I'm just overwhelmed by some of the things I learned about him in the past few months. Grammatica. I understand. LeMay. It's hard enough grasping this idea of a precursor race, but this whole sage business, it's difficult to swallow. Grammatica. Of course. The documents I'm sending you should go some way to easing you into some pretty strange discoveries, but make sure you're sitting down when you read them. LeMay. Oh, okay. Grammatica. No problem. Stay in touch. LeMay, I will. Grammatica. And congratulations on your new position. LeMay, thank you. I'm looking forward to working with your team. Grammatica. Good. Take care. And that ends the call.
Life is in your The more data you can collect, the better your reward. But the assassin is more important.
Letter of promotion. Alan Ricken, Chief Executive Officer, Abstergo Industries, Washington, D.C., 21 January 2014. Dear Miss LeMay, congratulations on your promotion. I am thrilled that you have decided to continue your career with our organization, and I am delighted that some of your experience and caliber considers Abstergo Entertainment a natural fit for your talents. As the Chief Creative Officer at Abstergo Entertainment, you will play an integral part in the continued growth and development of the Abstergo family, a brand respected and cherished the world over. As a longtime employee, you certainly need no introduction to our internal philosophy, our priorities, and our commitment to excellence. None of this changes, but of course, and rest assured that you will have our full support to continue this legacy during your tenure as CCO. With Abstergo's vast resources and advanced technology at your disposal, you will be in a unique position to make a true and lasting impact on the world. Your position grants you access to Abstergo's offices and will put you at the forefront of some of the most exciting and controversial scientific breakthroughs of the past century. All avenues of genetic memory research are now open to you. Your only limit is your own curiosity and ambition. As per our discussion last week, your first day as Chief Creative Officer will be 3 March 2014, starting at a base salary of $183,000 per year, with full eligibility for all bonuses and investment options. Welcome to the next stage in your already incredible career. I look forward to working with you in the near future. Alan Rickon signs this one. I don't know if it's in the movie or on one of the games, but I'm pretty sure that Alan Rickon dies. Okay, so I looked it up. Alan Rickon dies in the movie in 2016. So, just to give you a little context.
Another piece of the puzzle. Well done. Great find. Good job. The more data we can get, the better. Excellent. This could hold some major Abstergo secrets. This one's encrypted. Wait. This will come in handy. Hold on. Decrypting. I think this data could really help us. Hold on a second. I need to decrypt it. Good. We have enough data to trace our man's position. There he is. Good. Our techs will start analyzing the data right away. Quick. Time is running out. Hold on a second. I need to decrypt it. Wow. This should make our researchers very happy. There's the agent. Get him out. The agent has been recovered. Wow. 10 seconds left. Sending your data. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. The simulation is breaking up. A job well done. Our agents are never safe in the Helix, though, so help them when you can.
Uh, 03 Helix Marketing Strategy Memo, Abstergo Entertainment Helix Team Virtual Entertainment Exposition, VEX Press Training. Details: where? Los Angeles, California. Aurora Center downtown. When? 10 to 12 June 2014. Who? Melanie LeMay, CCO, Mark Snelling, executive producer Pierre Louis Bellinger, project director Anthony Gibbigny, tech director. Lodgings to be determined. There are 3 hotels downtown we generally use. Contact Jennifer Tam. That's who's writing it, I guess. J Tam at abstergoent.cor. Key message: Helix is not virtual reality. It is a virtual experience of actual history. History is your playground. Helix is built on Animus technology, Abstergo's proprietary genetic memory extraction. Hardware. Helix is safe and comfortable. Abstergo has been developing Animus tech for 4 years. Animus technology is proprietary. There are currently no plans to outsource or license this technology to other companies. Worldwide simultaneous release, fall 2014. Do's and don'ts. Do's. Use words and phrases like innovative, immersive, total immersion, virtual experience, true history, and the final frontier of pure entertainment. Elaborate on our flagship virtual experience, The Tragedy of Jacques de Molay. In 14th century France, last of the Knights Templar. Action, suspense, and adventure. Tease our forthcoming features without naming names. Something like, our forthcoming virtual experience will explore all sides of history, good and evil, and all the shades in between. Spark imaginations by asking journalists what time period they would like to visit. Ask them if they have any famous people in their ancestral line. Emphasize safety. Safety is our priority. This technology wasn't 100% stable. We wouldn't release it. Expound on the core virtues of Helix. History, truth, immersion, fun. Talk up Helix core team. Inspired, hard-working, experienced, 343 collective years of industry experience. Talk up Abstergo Entertainment, the best and the brightest, a studio full of talent, the most talented and creative minds on Earth. Don'ts. Do not dignify any rumors about the disappearance of past Abstergo employees with any kind of response. These rumors are scurrilous attempts to tarnish our company's reputation and should be brushed off with a simple, we don't respond to false accusations and crackpot theories. Do not mention data tracking, cortex monitoring, fMRI, Omega technology, hippocampal shock, optimal ghosting, brain death, severe bridges, rogue programs, or erudito. These are industry terms that will not raise false alarms. Well, that will only raise false alarms in the minds of muckraking entertainment bloggers from San Francisco. The last thing we need is a 60-point hyperventilating headline on the front page of some squawking tech blog proclaiming Abstergo Entertainment is trying to kill you. Do not answer questions about Abstergo Industries or its subsidiaries other than this Abstergo Entertainment deflect questions of this nature with a simple, "I'm here to talk about Helix," as an employee of Abstergo Entertainment, or just a simple, "That's not my area of expertise, no comment." Do not go into specifics about the nature of genetic memory. A simple, each man and woman on Earth carries around some portion of the collective memories and experiences of their ancestors. Abstergo's various technological breakthroughs in the past few decades have led us to a point where we are able to extract, organize, and replay these memories for the public will suffice. Never speak badly of past projects. Spin negatives into positives. Example, if they say the film Devils of the Caribbean was a frightful mess of cliches, dime store, moralizing and pandering stereotypes. Who thought this bucket of bilge water was a good idea? You say, certainly we realized very early in production that Devils of the Caribbean would not be the ideal experience for everyone, but for those who want a fun, exciting, and light-hearted look at the golden age of piracy, their ship has come to port. Do not confirm cooperative virtual experiences. You may say, this is technology we have definitely considered and are looking into it as we speak. We will be unveiling this feature at a later date. It's funny because they're trying to, like, I don't know if they're breaking the fourth wall, I guess, sort of. Obviously the game is cooperative if we want it to be. My game is not. So, well, I mean, it has the choice to be. But yeah, that's cool, I guess. I guess technically it's not for Abstergo, but it is for the assassins.
You are ready for the next step? Odd. I did not foresee that at all. I have an acquaintanceship with Denis Molyneux, who dabbles in alchemy. I suspect that it is he who possesses the other part of the missing mechanism. I advise you to go to his house on the Ile Saint-Louis and steal it. Yes, steal it!
Denis Molyneux, an alchemist from Montauban. Molyneux was deeply interested in Flamel and produced the famous Flamel images, consisting of obscure figures that combine symbolic and chemical formulations. The Book of Eleazar, a copy of the Book of Eleazar with handwritten alchemical annotations by Nicholas Flamel. This one says samesies. Map of Ville de la City. An old map in the margins are alchemical symbols hand-drawn by Denis Molinier.
Those who oppose us!
This rusty bit of metal must be part of the mechanism that Mademoiselle Lenormand was talking about. And this completes the mechanism. So much for the Templars.
Mon Dieu. Ah, the second part of the device. You have the necessary pieces. Return to me when you are ready to take the final step.
Collège des Quatre Nations. Cardinal Mazarin, once a mere deacon with much to atone for, left 2 million livres, part of his fortune amassed while governing France for 18 years, to build this college, as well as an annuity to house 60 fellows selected from the 4 nations, namely the regions of Piedmont, Alsace, Flanders, and Artois. The college is one of the finest monuments in Paris. It houses the Institut de France and the superb Mazarin Library, with its 275,000 volumes, many of which were recovered from those who were guillotined or who emigrated, as well as from Louis the 16th, labeled simply Louis Capet. It also offered stunning views of the river, the Seine. In 1793, this high place of learning was transformed into a prison, like everywhere else it seems. Since Paris was essentially a huge prison at the time, its first detainees included painter Jacques-Louis David, even though he had portrayed Marat in his bath. Dr. Guillotin, advocate of a painless Republican death, and Madame de Tourzel, governess to the royal children. The chapel went on to become a sugar store, reserved to a privileged few. Pont Royal, one of Paris's oldest bridges. The original Pont Royal was a toll bridge built in 1632 to replace a ferry. It was commonly called Point Rogue due to its red color, not to be confused with the tiny Pont Rogue that linked the city's islands. Over the centuries, the bridge has undergone several name changes, as well as several partial and complete reconstructions due to flooding. Place de Révolution, Concorde, Louis the 15th. Located at the very heart of Paris, between the Champs-Élysées to the west and the Jardin des Tuileries to the east. The place Louis the 15th was built in honor of the king in 1772. Its purpose was to evoke royal omnipotence. That's quite an intimidating brief to get. We would like this building to evoke royal omnipotence. Right, royal omnipotence. So, is that like royal incontinence? No, it is absolutely not like that. No, of course it's not. No. So, do you mean like royal impotence? Is that it? Not exactly. To be honest, I think we're going to need some new builders. It was the scene of the tragic festivities surrounding the marriage of the Dauphin, the future Louis the 16th, and Marie Antoinette, in which, according to official figures, 132 people were trampled during a fireworks display. 23 years later, Louis XVI was executed in the same plaza, now called the Place de la Révolution. Marie Antoinette followed a few months later. The guillotine was installed at the Place de la Révolution permanently from May 19, 1793 until June 13, 1794. In these 13 months, some 1,500 men and women would lose their heads.
The journals ridicule me no end. They call the new machine a whirligig. Imagine, I devise a humane method of execution and the newspapers do nothing but print negative reports. Could you print this article, emphasizing the advantages of the guillotine, then surreptitiously replace the journals sold on the street with the new ones?
But my dear doctor, do you not agree?
Dr. Joseph Ignace Guillotin. Dr. Guillotin was a leading light in French medicine who did not, in fact, invent the guillotine. He earned immense popularity among Parisians for his early support of a vote by head count at the Estates General. In addition, he was a philanthropist who petitioned for the same death sentence for all, regardless of social class. Along with Dr. Antoine Louis, he sought to improve a machine first devised by harpsichord maker Tobias Schmidt, which would lop the victim's head off painlessly. No more swords, no more breaking wheels, no more gallows. Quick death guaranteed. Even at the hands of clumsy executioners, he fell afoul of the Committee of Public Safety late in the Revolution and spent a month in prison, but escaped a final reunion with his invention. He resumed his scientific activities and worked in support of vaccination to save lives.
Is to show the people the terrible retribution of the state.
The purpose of an execution is simply to end the life of a criminal. My machine accomplishes this in the best way.
I disagree, citizen. We want to see the man drawn and quartered. We want to see his head fly from his neck, not plop into a basket.
We all know stories of executions gone awry, ears lopped off and so forth. No, we must have a better way, and thanks to science, that way is at hand. With this machine, built by Tobias Schmidt, I can cut off your head in the twinkling of an eye, and you never feel it.
Vous seriez surpris.
Hey, Lars, my new apprentice. Hurry, we need the new edition printed right away.
Why so bashful? Fashion's the only thing.
Go back to Barrett. Don't touch it.
Asai-Ra. According to legend, Asai-Ra was inspired by Benjamin Franklin during his stint as ambassador of France. When asked about the American War of Independence, he would reportedly reply, Asai-Ra, Asai-Ra. It'll be fine. That's what that means. The music existed before the lyrics and was played upon harpsichord or harp by Marie Antoinette, who was particularly fond of fond of this tune. On special occasions at Versailles, the initial words were quite harmless. Basically a refrain of "It will be fine" over and over, but in 1790 they were changed to Asai-Ra, Sai-Ra, Sai-Ra, les aristocrates et la lanterne, Sai-Ra, 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 les aristocrates on les pendra. And in English, it'll be fine, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. The aristocrats to the lamppost. It'll be fine, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. The aristocrats will hang them. The song thus became the rallying cry for the Parisians sans culottes in the revolutionary riots.
all spectacle from public executions. Dr. Guillotin's miraculous machine will cut off heads in the twinkling of an eye. National disgrace. New machine would remove all spectacle from public execution. Dr. Guillotin's miraculous machine will cut off heads in the twinkling of an eye.
Bloody do what you please on my patch!
Ah, Arno, could you help me in a personal matter? It concerns my fiancée, Desiree Cléry. Some sans-culotte plan to abduct her for a ransom. Captain Bernadotte knows the particulars. Join him in front of the post office and ensure that Desiree escapes her house unharmed.
Jean Bernadotte, the poor man's Bonaparte. Bernadotte started out as a stable boy nicknamed Fanfan Beljambe. He enrolled in the Revolutionary Army as a private aged 17. He quickly rose up the ranks, becoming brigadier general, and just 6 months after that, general of division. Of note is his marriage to Desiree Cléry, a former sweetheart of Napoleon Bonaparte, whom Bernadotte served under at the thunderous success at Austerlitz. However, with an R, I think, his revolutionary principles were jettisoned in the wake of an extraordinary turn of events, having been adopted by the ailing Charles XIII of Sweden. He was called on to become crown prince and eventually Charles XIV, King of Sweden and Norway.
Bonaparte sent you. We are to rescue his fiancée. Let us make haste. Again, I find myself running errands for Bonaparte, and yet he and I are of equal rank. How does he do it? Gads! I've got a beautiful sword, crafted in Spain. But a man can't marry his sword, you know. I need a woman to soothe my brow. And here Bonaparte has already found a fiancée. Christ damn, he's a lucky dog. I wonder if he'll amount to anything.
On today's menu, Trader du jour, his own red sauce.
fighting like I love it so. I challenge you to a fencing bout. Sans culotte? Get yourself some culotte then. Good God. You there! You cannot stop us! We're here to rescue someone! Come on! Don't lay... We got her trapped on the top floor! Stay back! They're I am here on a mission of gallantry.
We got her trapped on the top floor.
No challenge from me, amateur. You will not sully Mademoiselle Paris. Mademoiselle, we're sorry to disturb you, but your fiancé...
Desiree Clary, the daughter of a wealthy merchant from the south of France, Desiree crossed destinies with two extraordinary military men of the period. Initially engaged to Joseph Bonaparte, she was introduced to his brother, Napoleon. What sort of negotiation ensued is lost to history, but somehow Desiree's older sister married Joseph, and Desiree herself became engaged to Napoleon. The marriage was not to come to fruition. Napoleon became infuriated with the extraordinary Josephine Beauharnais, and Desiree met and later married the dashing officer Jean Bernadotte. A few years later, her husband, via an unusual adoptive relationship, was more or less appointed to be king of Sweden, and Desiree became queen. If you handed this in as the plot of a soap opera, they'd laugh you out of the building, except the bit about being appointed king of Sweden. They'd love that.
To ensure your well-being.
I can take care of my own well-being, thank you.
I see that in you, Captain Bonaparte has secured a precious victory. Hey, Arno. God, your ankle is exceptionally well done.
Sir, I like that. I like that very much.
And those flashing eyes. We must go, before I say something I regret, or I sustain a mortal injury.
Aha, bastard!
Hey, Charlot, don't break all your kind on the wheel.
Bastard!
You fight with great panache, Captain.
And you with an alluring fire.
Your anti-revolutionary days are numbered, cur!
May I compliment you, mademoiselle, on your bold thrust?
That is hardly appropriate. inappropriate. I am engaged.
Damn it. I'm gonna gas that mug of yours. A massive improvement, no doubt. Hit him! You damn fuck! Where you belong. Try practicing a little before charging blindly, little man. There! Work your way behind him! No! I'm giddy with delight.
Oh, mon cher Bernadotte. If this had been another time, another place.
Say not another word. I dare not even dream.
You are right. There can be no dreams for us. Goodbye, dear sir. Goodbye.
Message for you.
Ne pense pas. Je m'abstiens donc.
Une fois que certains ont goûté à la violence, il ne leur faut même plus de raison pour s'y préoccuper. Je vous le demande.
Palais Royal. The Palais Royal was the nerve center of the revolution under the auspicious its owner Philip, Duke of Orleans, cousin of Louis the XVI. Finding himself in doubt, Philippe d'Orleans lined all the 3 arcades with 60 shops, which he let out to restore his finances. The galleries were bustling up until 2 in the morning. It was a non-stop party, and the meeting place for the captain's many crooks, swindlers, old lechers, and young debauched. An unusual timepiece was installed, a small cannon that fired by the sun itself. Paris really hasn't changed a bit. Its regal name is impossible to maintain under the revolution, and so it became the Palace Iglite.
Nous ne partirons pas avant d'avoir obtenu satisfaction.
Ne les laissez pas se cacher. Faites sortir ce chat.
Alright, guys, with that, that'll end today's episode. We got so much information, I got tired of reading it. If you did make it this far, this was kind of a catch-up episode, which is probably what I'll end up naming it. But yeah, it was just to do some stuff, get some levels, and catch up on things that we kind of were skipping. And it does help out with the story a bit, so that's nice. Anyways, with that, we'll say bye for now. Bye for now.